Hey guys, this is Sorvesteon coming to you from Naval Action. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you my impressions and my opinions of the snow. Now, first off, this is a great little ship. I've never regretted getting the snow. And actually, to be honest, she was such a great ship, I never even bothered to get any other ships of the 7th rate, or whatever it's called. And, you know, that's why you see this ship a lot in my other videos. So, I'm gonna be moving on to the Mercury pretty soon. So I figured, I would just, kind of cover the snow now, because I'm not really gonna have a chance to go back to it. I mean, like, as you progress up the ranks, the missions become progressively more difficult, and so, you don't really have a chance to take, these ships out again, unless you just want to go roam the open world. But yeah, I think, like, once I get out of the snow, I really won't really have any reason to go back, so that's why I'm covering it now. So one of the things that I really liked about the snow was the flexibility. With the cutter, you only really had, guns on both sides. You didn't have these forward guns. And that meant that, like, anytime you wanted to shoot at something, you basically needed to go broadside. Well, with the snow, you don't have to do that. You get a lot more flexibility in terms of, what angles you can fire at. And it's just wonderful. I love the snow for that. I love how, I can chase a ship down and be able to use my forward cannons. I love that I love that I can, maneuver my ship more in battle and be able to use, like, all sides of my ship against the enemy. It's really helpful. Really helpful. It's come in so handy, capturing traders. You can just load up chain in your forward guns and just go straight for them, and it's just absolutely wonderful. I love, oh, I should stop saying good things about the ship and start saying bad things about the ship. The snow is definitely not perfect. It has its own weaknesses. One of them being that I find she really tends to get caught in the wind. If you ever go dead straight into the wind, you could have some problems. I've had some situations where, I started out facing dead on into the wind, and I just couldn't get out. Like, no matter what I did, no matter how I tried to manually maneuver my sails, no matter how I tried to, turn the ship, it just didn't make any difference. The game was determined to not let me go anywhere. And that's one of the problems that I've really kind of come to dread in the snow, is, getting stuck. Getting stuck when you face dead on into the wind. So one of the things that you're gonna have to be aware of when you're in the snow is what direction you're facing. Another issue that I find that the snow tends to have is it likes to bob up and down. It's not that stable. It rocks a lot more than other ships, or so I hear. Like, I've never played the brig, so I can't tell you one way or the other for sure, whether the brig is a lot more stable or not. Just, I've heard it is. I've heard that it and the Navy brig are a lot more stable. And I've heard that they're faster and more maneuverable, which would make sense because, like, for me, the snow is all about the guns. This is a fantastic ship when it comes to guns. She gets 11 on both sides. She gets 2 forward, 2 aft. It's fantastic. And you can see here, like, I'm just decimating this. Is this a Mercury? Something. Anyways, she packs quite a wallop, and it's quite something. I mean, if you put cannonades on this, I'm sure you could just do an enormous amount of damage really quickly. I tend to stick more with medium guns myself, personally. That's my own personal preference. There are some situations where, I find that I have trouble, keeping ships in range, especially, like in this ship, especially when you're a second lieutenant. Um, you're gonna have kind of issues where you're gonna be facing cutters, lynxes, yachts, that kind of thing. They're fast, they're maneuverable, and they will not stick close to you. And they sit low in the water. So, like cannonades just, in my brief experience playing this game, they suck for hitting those small little ships. So I just stuck with medium guns. It was, in my opinion, it was just way easier to hit them. And I haven't really gone back to cannonades. I will when I go to my Mercury, because I wasn't able to find any suitable guns, medium guns. Maybe that'll change tomorrow when I go back and look at the market. So what else can I say about the Mercury? Or sorry, not the Mercury. What am I talking? I'm so excited for the next ship. I'm saying the next ship instead of focusing on the snow. So, the snow. What else can I say about good about the snow? Because there's really not too much else bad to say about the snow, really. Like, aside from, the stability, the maneuverability, and I guess kind of the speed, the snow is really quite an excellent ship. I've used it quite a bit for doing missions. I find she's pretty good. I like the firepower. I don't know if the brig would really outdo her in terms of firepower, because like you get the stability, but when in the snow, I found that I just kind of accounted for the bobbing up and down. I didn't really need the stability. I don't know if that would really bother anyone else, though. Like, maybe some people would just, like, absolutely hate their ship bobbing up and down. They want it to stay level so they can, aim their shot, the way they want. And that's where I think it might kind of come down to personal preference. I just kind of learned to deal with it. And so, it wasn't really that big of an issue for me. That being said, when you do get stuck, I think, being able to use manual sails is a really, really great skill to have. And I didn't really want to learn manual sails yet, but the snow kind of forced me to. Because I was so sick of just, standing there dead in the water, not being able to chase things. And yeah, so I basically had to learn how to use the manual sails because of this ship. Not because I really wanted to, but because this ship kind of forced me to do so. I mean, I think I'm definitely better off for it now, but yeah. So just something to be aware of, if you're gonna go with the snow, you're gonna have to learn how to use your sails kind of effectively. But and I have to say, like, the snow had a little bit of a learning curve. It was so much different than the cutter. So much different. Like with the cutter, you can just zip along. You can choose almost any angle. You almost never get stuck. The snow was a completely different beast altogether. Like, I really had to, be way more aware of where I was in relation to the wind, and I had to be, more aware that I was sitting a lot higher, so, like, if I get really close like I am here, it's going to, like, people are going to be able to hit me. Now, one of the other saving graces from the snow is you can see, like, she's small. Like, she's a small ship, compared to this one that's or a smaller ship compared to this one that's sitting right next beside me. And that makes her a little bit harder to hit. And yeah. Overall, she's just a really good ship. I assume they're all good ships with different strengths and weaknesses. So, But, you know, for me personally, the snow has been really enjoyable. It's really made the game a lot more fun. I hated the cutter. I absolutely hated the cutter. I hated how, you know, like, how low everything sat in the water. I hated, you know, how it was so hard to hit anything. You know, moving up into the snow, being able to take on these larger ships is just so much better. Yeah, it's kind of like the newbie grind. You know, it gets better like the higher you move up, I think. You know, you can do more of this broadsiding kind of stuff, and then, you know, you can just focus more on maneuvering your ship and being more aware of where you are. See, you know, I was almost about to turn directly into the wind. So, you know, like, as you can see here, that battle went pretty fast. No problem. She's a great ship, great DPS. She's great for missioning in, great for chasing stuff down with. So, you know, if you can get over some of her, you know, kind of weaknesses, I think, you know, you can do really well on this ship. So anyways, this has been Sorvesteon in Naval Action, and I'll catch you next time. Until then, take care and happy sailing.